Hello, today we're going to talk about cyber insurance. So cyber insurance currently is probably one of the hottest topics in the insurance industry. I believe it is the new general liability. Many businesses have a small general liability risk, but have more of a cyber risk. Today we're going to go through some of the slides that I use for a presentation that I give to people, and then we're going to show some statistics. So what is the risk? I mean, you really have to understand what is out there. There are businesses in Russia and in some third world countries that's all they do. They pay people to try to hack into US-based companies. The attacks are going on continuously. The attacks happen 24/7. So there are a lot of vulnerabilities. Your people, your security processes, your technology. What you need to do is have a conversation with a managed service provider or an IT company. And to get insurance now, you're going to need that managed service provider. You're also going to need multi-factor authentication just to get the insurance. The entire market has shifted. The insurance carriers have some tremendous losses. And what they've decided to do is they're going to have bare minimums, and their applications have increased, and we're going to make sure that you have the right systems and processes in place before we'll even insure your business. But what that does is it makes your business a lot less vulnerable by going through that exercise. And then if someone does get through, at least you have the insurance. We can reduce the risk as much as we can, but we still need to transfer some risk to the insurance companies. Here are some of the coverages. I'm not going to go into detail on this, but anything that may happen will be covered in general. Regulatory, I mean, when you get hacked, you're going to have fines from the state and federal. I, for example, as an insurance agent, I'm regulated by Department of Financial Services. I would also get fines from them. Any kind of security breach response. I mean, the PR nightmare that could occur with you getting hacked, being out of business for a couple months because of a ransomware attack, and then trying to get restarted again. Cyber extortion is a big one that's going around. That is ransomware. The biggest one is business income. What this does is very similar to your business office policy, where if you have a fire or a pipe break, we will replace your gross revenue number, and you can keep your employees and keep the business going from a financial perspective while you rebuild. Same thing applies here. We saw in COVID, when business income did not apply to pandemics, how devastating that was to small businesses. And we also have PCI with credit cards, personal information, things like that are also covered. You got to be aware. You got to understand what's out there. There's hardware. You have money, portable devices, payment card information. A lot of this information is out there, and we do have to be careful. We as small business owners need to protect that information. Here's some of the breach events. Email phishing. This happens quite a bit. And then right a couple of days before payments due, they tell you their routing account numbers changed, or they send you a link. You click on the link, and now you have a virus on your system. Ransomware. This happens quite a bit to small businesses because they are very, very easy targets. I equate this to the old club, the big red bar you just put across your steering wheel. And if a car thief was going through a parking lot and he saw that, he'd probably move on. So we have to put up some defense against this. This is a typical breach. This is only 1,000 records, $992,000. People say, I'm exaggerating. That's fine. Let's say it's a quarter of this, $250,000. Most small businesses don't have that money. Most small businesses don't have the expertise to get all these different companies into your business to try to fix all this. So these are just typical expenses for a breach. Here's some statistics. The goal of this is not to scare people. The goal of this is to educate people. So 43% of cyber attacks go after small to medium-sized businesses. It's low-hanging fruit. They can make $25,000 to $50,000 and they can move on. 66% said their technologies currently used can't detect and block most cyber attacks. That's kind of terrifying. So someone could come into your system, drop some antivirus software, drop some virus software, and you would know. The average time, I'll get to this a little bit later, the average time that they're in your system is 275 days. You can see here, 869 or 879, that's a huge expense. 22% lost customers' data. I'm sorry, 22% of people lost customers because of a breach. And 60% of small businesses breach are out of business within 6 months. That's a staggering number. So some of these stats have been updated. This kind of gives you a little different twist on it. So 50% were breached through remote access. 33 were breached internally. This is not someone being malicious. This is just email phishing. Someone clicked on the wrong email. 17% were breached through phishing emails. 57% had firewalls in place at the time of the compromise. Everyone thinks I've got a firewall, I've got antivirus software, I'm good to go. Obviously, that's not the case. This was the stat I was talking about. On average, organizations were accessible to hackers for 275 days. That's 3/4 of a year. That is terrifying to me. 68% of businesses have not purchased cyber liability or data breach coverage. 43% of customers are unlikely to remain customers if the business gets hacked. 109% increase in ransomware phishing emails. I mean, these stats just keep going up. These stats that I'm sharing now are about a year old. Here are the sectors that get hit. The biggest issue is every business has what's called a BOP, or business office policy. It's basically general liability and business property. There's some other coverages, business income, things like that, but it's basically a small business policy. The carriers have added endorsements to offer cyber liability coverage on these BOPs. Those endorsements are not the way to do this. You need a separate policy that's built from the ground up. Those endorsements are typically only 100,000 of coverage, which is nowhere near enough. They typically are first party only, which means your vendors get email phished and you get attacked. They're not going to cover that. And there's a lot of other exclusions. So we need to not use that coverage, and we need to get a separate cyber liability coverage. Here is the sectors, like I said, that have been attacked, 1 through 10. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.